I got that $20 gift card thing from Amazon.
Oh yeah, right. You were telling me.
Yeah, I swear to God, I think there was like a link or something I clicked on for that hosting.
Yeah, the referral for the hosting.
Yeah, but I don't remember ever clicking on it. But I got like an alert saying, "Hey, blah 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 blah," and I was like, "Cool,
Hello.
that seems pretty sick." And then I forgot that I had from work we got like $100 Visa card.
Nice. That like the Christmas bonus.
Yeah, Christmas bonus. So I forgot I had that because I was at the bar with Sarah on Thursday because we got let out early, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot I had this." She's like, "How the fuck do you forget that you had that?"
How do you forget you have like $100?
Because originally I was going to use it when I went to Korea to pay for something online.
So you had kind of like
Set
put it out of your mind.
Yeah, and now I have it now, and so
Right.
But oh shit. Oh
Hear that rat scurry?
yeah, and it's because he just took a bath, so now he has to run around and get dry.
Gotcha.
And then he has to rub himself over everything because he's like, I'm too clean.
I've got to dirty up again.
Yeah. Have you given Sam a bath yet?
We gave him a bath once or twice when he was younger. We haven't.
Younger as in like a month ago.
Yeah. I say younger because like he's fucking huge now.
Oh yeah, he is.
He was like less than 10 pounds when we brought him home, and we're like 6 weeks later, and he's like 40 pounds.
Stupid dogs.
Yeah. Welcome to the side table.
Yes, we have to talk about Anthem.
Okay.
Because I was like super impressed with it.
I won't say I'm super impressed with it.
Well, I was super impressed.
And we'll go into why, but
so the reason I was impressed with it because I hadn't seen anything since that first E3 announcement or whatever, and then I played Andromeda, and then I was like, "This is garbage." And then I played Destiny, and this is garbage. And then
honestly, the multiplayer in Andromeda was fun again, but there was a lot of connection issues.
Oh yeah, was there connection issues in Anthem?
Not that we had. Well, there was like one.
What one?
I had one issue, I thought it was. Or maybe it was. No, maybe we didn't. I know I had a couple weird crashes. But I guess we didn't have any connection issues.
I just was like, I don't know, after playing Andromeda, I was like very disappointed. And then it's their like next big thing.
It is. The combat's really fun. The couple things that like make me apprehensive is how like engaging the story is actually going to be.
It looks really good from the story.
Sure it does.
Right.
But how well does that
Right.
story actually pull you in? And then how much more like upgradability and fun there is to like your skills and weapons. Because like Mass Effect did a really good job with that.
Right.
And then comparing it to like Destiny as like a PvE thing, there was like a huge lack of options.
That's why I'm glad they're not doing PvP.
I hope they keep it that way
because then it allows us more freedom for builds and stuff. But I did. What?
Like you've said before, there's not a meta you have to play.
Right. Yeah. And then I played. No, I didn't play. I watched. Like it was the latest like development diary or something, and they were talking about the story of Andromeda and like the equipment and the upgrading. It's like a quick 5-minute video. I'll have to show you it afterwards because it like got me a little more excited because they showed all the like the amount of pieces like one javelin specifically has that you can switch on and off and the looks in that. And then they showed the story and explained what they plan to do with the story because it seems like they'll have these events called cataclysms where it changes the whole world and impacts the characters.
So they're World of Warcraft expansions.
Yeah, just Cataclysm over and over and over again, And I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. And it's like a one-time event, though.
Right, so unless you're playing in this point of time.
Yeah.
I didn't mean like, I kind of meant it as a pun of like Cataclysm, but I meant it as like if you play at a certain point of time in World of Warcraft.
Right. Then you get to experience it.
You get to experience different things in different places.
And I was like, oh. That makes me want to like play it more because the first one's supposed to happen in like March.
Oh,
and I was like, fucking shit, man, And the flying.
Okay, the flying's really fun.
Sorry.
But if it happens in March, because the game doesn't come out until
22nd.
22nd.
I think it's like late March.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, they're supposed to be like
trying to get rope people in for that day one purchase.
Yeah, but it looks it just looks really awesome.
The flying was really fun. The mouse controls were terrible for flying.
Really?
But they did say, I was reading, must have been in it's either the support forum or a Reddit forum where one of the developers was like, we have a fix for it. It just didn't make it into the demo.
Oh, okay, cool.
So hopefully that'll be
cool.
tweaked out.
The flying, like when I first flew or whatever, I was like, this is fucking awesome. They nailed it. It's so fun.
It's really cool.
So cool.
You're not super limited in that like you can only fly a little bit and then you have to stop.
Yeah.
Like, you get a good chunk. Yeah, it's easy to control. And then you can like shoot shit while you're flying.
Right?
It's pretty cool.
And because I didn't choose like the magic class.
Right.
Which also I was super excited about because like then, because when you choose the same class over and over again, which I'm trying not to do like now, trying to do things just different in life and in games in general, you know?
It gets kind of boring and then you compare it to that previous game where you played that class.
Yeah. And so I was like, I won't play the magic class. And so I played like the ninja class basically. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, it was so fucking cool. It was so cool. So fast, so sleek. And like, I was like a glass cannon. Like, it was so fun.
It was pretty fun. I especially miss having like a good third-person shooter in my life.
Right.
Because like the last good one we played was like Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
And like the combat in Andromeda was fun, but it wasn't a super great game overall.
I didn't like the combat in Andromeda.
I did. But you can definitely tell it was a stepping stone into learning for Anthem.
Oh, for sure. That's why
jetpacks. We
were playing it. For people who are listening, we were playing it, and I was telling Ashley and Joshua, I was like, I wish they wouldn't have made Andromeda, and then like Anthem should have been released when Andromeda was released instead. Like this should have been Andromeda versus Andromeda then Anthem. It should just all been Anthem.
Yep.
Because it's like Andromeda would have been. Okay, so my thing with Andromeda that I'm doing right now, I have to explain this. So I was watching. It's kind of going off topic real quick. So there's this channel called The Completionist. I don't know if you've heard about.
You've only brought him up every week, but go ahead.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, just recently I've been like watching him. And then for people who don't know, he like 100% completes games, like all achievements, all unlockables and stuff.
Platinums.
Yeah. And then like that's how he reviews the game, not just like from a surface, which most
people do.
Reviewers
because
do.
That's what the time they have.
Yeah. And so he like does the whole thing and then reviews the game. And so he went on a podcast with Aaron Hansen, who is one of the Game Grumps, and they were talking about work and like creating stories in that. And then they were going into depth about how reviewing games and like 100% completing the games is a story, because there's a beginning. Mm-hmm. Of like the planning, like how do I get all these achievements, right, laying it out.
A lot of times in a game, you either have to do multiple playthroughs or you have to plan it out perfectly in order to get it all in one.
And then there's completing that. Then there's the doing it, the struggle of going about and completing the game, and then the conclusion of doing it in that victory or whatever.
What extra did you get out of the game doing it that way?
And then they're like, yeah, that's a story, because like there's the hero is born, struggles,
you have the struggle, the apex, and the conclusion.
I was like, whoa, I never thought of it that way, like a story, because I've always wanted to that's what I've always wanted to do, is like create stories in that. So I was like, I should do that. I should do that for a game. And I was like, what game should I do it for? I should do it for Andromeda. So what I'm doing is I'm 100% completing Andromeda right now. I'm recording all of it.
Oh dang, you're gonna have a cache.
Yeah,
and then you're gonna throw together a review.
Yeah, so I'm gonna record all of the footage, and then I'm just threw on my mic, so it'll just be on the whole time. I'll review the game afterwards, like type up a thing on my actual thoughts about it. Yeah, and then after that, I want to make like a compilation of like my whole Andromeda journey with all that footage, and throw it up there, because I was just like, I really wanted to do that one, because then it's something that I've always wanted to do, which is creating the story.
Right.
Because I've always wanted to like create like because then you have to like make like characters and like a world and stuff with stories. Like
there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah, and then you can still make a story, and that's just what I wanted to do, is create and then again tell a story, and that's what this is. And I forgot what else I was going to say about Andromeda. I don't remember. Shit.
Something about forcing yourself to play it. I'll play through.
Oh, well, yeah, anyway, I'm doing that. But, God, I forgot. That's okay. But yeah, anyway, there was a segue between that and Anthem, and I forgot what it was. Well, shit.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I know. It was pretty good. But anyway, yeah, I'm doing that because it's, I don't know. God, fuck. What was it? Shit.
Dude, your ceiling's falling in again.
I know that. It's been doing that ever since my dad had to check the pipes. Because those things are, you put them up and they're not supposed to be taken down.
Right, once they've been clipped up there.
So I've had to push that on every day and then it just falls down. So I'm tempted just to take it down. That's what happened over there.
Right.
And I think in the closet too.
I wish we had tall enough ceilings for a drop ceiling like this.
I guess I don't see the.
They're nice for like accessing pipes and running electrical.
Oh, okay.
And internet cords.
Doesn't it look like the Apple logo?
Which one are we looking at?
So you see how there's those 2 dots right there?
Yeah.
Go over to the next 2 dots.
Mm-hmm. The one on top?
The one on the bottom.
Oh, the one on bottom? Oh, I guess it does look like a sideways Apple logo.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I've noticed that like forever. I'm like, whoa.
I used to do that because we had wood paneling in my house growing up, and so you could see all these shapes like within wood paneling, wood grain, and be like, oh, that looks kind of like that,
right?
Or that,
or like there's like this the walls pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's also patterned like this in the bathroom. So if you're like taking a shit, you just stare at it, then you see something, and then like the next day, you're like, can I find the same thing? And it's like boom, right there.
There it is.
Yeah. So that's pretty neat. Seeing patterns.
Patterns are cool.
I'm still. What was it? You can start talking about something.
You want me to talk about Anthem related things, or
go for it? I'm trying to remember what it was.
I don't think I really had much else to say on Anthem other than I was waiting to see how engaging the story was, and then having a reason to log in every day as far as like
right,
because that's where Destiny fell short. Combat was fun, story blew, but there's no motivation, no reward for like logging in and playing the game. You could just leave for 3 months, come back, and
it's the same.
It's the same. Get all the latest gear, easy peasy, and it's just And you only had like 5 slots.
5 slots for what?
For like armor.
Oh really?
And then like 2 weapons. Like that was it.
God, I don't remember that.
Probably because you forgot about it, because it was not a great experience.
I did beat it, I think, though.
We did. We all beat it together.
Oh, that's cute.
It was only like 6 or 7 hours.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was short.
Oh, wow.
And by beat it, we meant the original story. We don't have any of the DLC.
Oh, yeah, but the DLC's like $30 or $40.
Yeah, there's like 3 of them now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Gross.
You're telling me. You see Destiny constantly goes on sale for like every console for $5.
Destiny 2?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
They even for a while, I don't know if it still is, but they made the base game free.
That's upsetting.
Yeah, right. Almost as upsetting as Fallout 76.
I don't really find that game upsetting, though.
I meant the price.
Oh, that is upsetting.
Where you bought it at full price, I'm like, hey, dude, it's on sale for $40.
I'm like, are you serious? It's like 3 days after.
It was a little bit longer. It was like a week or 2.
I didn't think it was that long.
That was like a week or 2.
Really?
Yeah.
That's still stupid.
No, that stings for sure.
Cause I remember when I went into GameStop and that guy was talking about it to me. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess you convinced me. And then I bought it and I was like having a lot of fun with it or whatever. I do remember Ashley was saying, all right, Patrick, we can't like not play this game anymore when we say we're going to play it together. And I'm like, Ashley, are you just saying this out loud because it's going to be you who's not going to be playing it and lumping me into that?
Every time I was like, Ashley, you want to play Fallout 76? Or like, Patrick and I are going to play Fallout 76. She's like, I'll play, but I don't want to play with you guys. I want a single player Fallout. Like, okay.
I think it might be because we just like doing whatever and then she wants to do all the story.
She's very task oriented.
Yeah, and it's not just random. That's what I really liked about like that game is in like the forest.
We can just run around and
it's like,
do whatever.
Do you want to just go like splunking or whatever?
Or go hunt down Mothman?
Though, yeah. Still a little upset that it glitched on us.
Yeah.
Because it probably would have been a cool fight.
That would have been a great fight.
Speaking of flying scary things, there was an update recently in the forest. I think we actually have the update now.
We should.
there is now a TV, a car, I believe, and a new mutant
That flies.
So you did see it?
No, you just said speaking of flying scary things.
Oh, okay. It is like, it looks like a chain link of sausages that like will stack together and form whatever it needs to be to beat the shit out of you. But like the quick video I saw of it, because I didn't want to like ruin too much of like stumbling upon it yourself. The guy was like, "What the fuck is this?" And he's like, "Oh, I think it's the thing from the trailer or whatever." And so it like stacks up together, but then like it like falls apart, like splits in half, that stack, and it starts flapping towards him like in the air, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he's like freaking out, and I was like, "Oh shit." Yeah, it looks terrifying.
I bet it would be.
And I'm curious how close we were to like the bottom of the thing.
We had to have been getting pretty close.
Well, I really hope that we spawn back in with our shit.
I think we should, since we didn't save, but
I really hope we do. Because I have a lot.
I had a chunk too.
And going back in there.
It's going to be hell without anything.
Well, collecting all that I think won't be too hard.
No.
It's just like having to go back in there without dying.
Exactly.
Because then you lose all your shit.
Gotta get our souls, man.
Yeah, it is like that, isn't it?
It is.
And I didn't realize when I was watching that forest video you did, the cannibals are really tall.
They're very tall.
Like a lot taller than...
Significantly taller than your characters.
Yeah, I did not realize that until there were like a couple scenes where like you and Ashley were fighting a cannibal or whatever, and I was like navigating, and so while you guys were like protecting me, like they would jump on you, and then it would start hitting Ashley. And then you're like, she's like 2 feet shorter than it. And I was like, wow.
Right, and when they're attacking you, you don't notice that.
No.
You're just like, oh shit, get me out of here.
Yeah. But no, that game is really fun. I really like that game. I really want to beat that game.
The only good early access game we've paid for.
Have we paid for other ones?
I don't think so.
Good. We're 1 for 1.
We bought that in like 2014, I think we decided.
Yeah, because I remember the trailer. And I was like, dude, this looks really fun.
Yeah, we paid like $15-$20 or whatever it was
at
the time. There was not much in it at that time.
No, not at all.
But it was still gorgeous, just like it is today.
Yeah, right? And then they added co-op, and the co-op was super fun.
Yeah, the co-op was like the killer feature for me.
Super fun.
The YouTube compression does not like Forest.
Oh, just because it was...
It came through like kind of grainy.
Really?
When I was watching it back on YouTube.
Oh, that's upsetting.
Yeah.
That's upsetting. Do you like my thumbnail?
I don't think I looked at it.
You didn't see the thumbnail?
No.
Dude, here, look, pull it up. It's like a pretty good thumbnail. I kind of like making thumbnails. It's just like... Because thumbnails require you to, like, acquire some skill of Photoshop.
A little bit. Yeah. Every time I've done, like, a good thumbnail, I've had to look up, like, 3 different tutorials. How do I do this in Photoshop? Yeah. How do I do this?
I feel you, man.
Okay, that is a pretty
right.
Cool. What movie is that from?
The Forest. Starring Natalie Dormer. It's in the Suicide Forest of Japan.
Yeah.
I originally wanted it to be like there's a shot.
It's cool. Has 3 views already.
Yeah, I had to like cut out those characters in order to like add depth to them, so like it didn't look weird with the pillows.
Right.
But there's like a quick scene in the forest where like there's like the one scary part. Come on.
It's thinking.
I hate this phone makes me hate phones.
What makes me hate phones is how expensive they've gotten.
Right? Images. I said images.
It's thinking about it.
I should have done the Forest movie.
You should have.
Oh my god.
I've even noticed my phone has trouble sometimes, and I don't know if it's just because it's like an older Android version or what, but sometimes it just really struggles.
This phone does not, because how I do most of my texting is, yeah, this movie was super bad. Load. I clicked on you. this one.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to replace like the pillow head with her or whatever.
Gotcha.
But there was no picture of this that was more than like 580p or 480p or whatever.
So unless you like sourced a Blu-ray version of the movie.
I was like, I don't want to do that. I'll just spend my other time doing some other sort of work for it.
Yeah, that's the thing about making thumbnails is it's time consuming. You have to source all of that.
Right. Which now that's a really good Photoshop job. Look at that.
It is.
Which I don't mind doing now. I used to. But no, I don't mind doing it anymore. They're kind of fun. I try to, make it fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love how my student loans aren't due for like another month, but they got to tell you first day of every month.
Your statement's ready.
It's due. It's due.
I know you just paid this like 3 days ago, but your next month is due.
It's due. And you're like, oh God.
I just paid you.
Yeah, I hate it. And then I was going to talk about something else. You were saying something. I forgot what it was. Nice OtterBox, man.
Thanks. I paid like $12 for it.
I don't use one.
Clearly. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a giant crack in your screen.
Yeah, I don't give shit.
What was I talking about? Were we still talking about forest stuff? Or were we talking about Photoshop and looking up tutorials?
Might have been the forest.
Yeah, I don't know. Because we were just talking about paying for it as an early access game and then them adding in co-op. And then the YouTube compression being terrible for that game. It just made it look, kind of
poopy.
Kind of pixely, which I was like, whatever.
Yeah, God, I don't know. Interesting.
I don't know. I almost rendered that one out in 4K, but then I looked at the expected time and then the file size, and I was like,
How big was it? 12.
No, it was like 14 or 15 gigs for a 4K version. For reference, the 1080 was 6 gigs.
Did you like editing it?
Editing it wasn't too bad. Like I didn't mind that. It just took a little bit of time.
Right.
But that wasn't so bad. Yeah.
I know. It's like it's only bad when you're editing 2 different video points, like when we did Dank Souls.
Right.
That was
cut back and forth.
Yeah.
That one I could feel like would be like a good challenge though, because you can drop one on each line. And then you can, kind of scrub through and then make cuts when you want to go back and forth.
Oh, no, it was, like, I would have liked it more if, one, maybe it was just, like, the mindset, I guess, I was in when I was doing it.
It could be.
Is, I was spending, a lot of time doing it, then exporting it, like, recording it, because we would record, like, 3 or 4 hours.
Right.
And then I would have to divide it into hour chunks.
And then edit that down to 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. And then edit it together, cutting between the both of us. And then export it and then put it up. And no one would watch it.
Yeah, it's a little disheartening.
And, I wouldn't mind doing it, one, if I had more time that I wanted to allocate towards it. Mm-hmm. And 2, if people watched it. So, if all I was doing was just pillow talk and editing that, then I would be totally fine with doing it because I knew it would benefit me in some way.
Right.
But now it's just, God, because it's a lot.
It's really time consuming to cut it down. I think I spent close to 2 or 3 hours editing that.
Right?
Hour and 45 minutes down.
Right. I forgot we played it for that long.
Yeah, it was a long. Yeah, hour 45 down to 36 minutes or something.
I thought it was pretty, and I really liked watching it because it was something I didn't do. Because I've never, So something like that cutting that down, I've always edited.
Right.
And done. So seeing someone else do it that I was part of, that was pretty cool watching that.
Then you just get to relive the highlights of it.
And I'm like, cool. I don't have to edit it. Yeah, but high five, man. I liked it.
Thanks.
But yeah, I was just like, oh, this is really nice. I even, because when'd you post that? Thursday or Wednesday?
I think I uploaded it Thursday.
Because I was like, I could totally watch this now, but I'm gonna watch it when it
Wait
goes
till it
live.
lives.
Yeah, so it got me through work. So I was like, yeah. Well, work yesterday was so weird. So Thursday we close early.
Okay.
It was funny because I took my nap at.
I assume because of more of the polar vortex.
Yes. It's so. I shouldn't say I took my nap. I went on my break at 1. And then I had 15 extra minutes because when we have a meeting on Monday, we have to come 15 minutes early. So I need to punch out like 15 minutes early or use that on my lunch to get 40 hours exact. And so I hadn't used it up till now because usually I use it for when I have piano.
Right.
But I didn't do piano this week. It's like, oh, I get an extra 15-minute nap. So like Alyssa, one of my coworkers, comes in while I'm napping in the back. It's like 2:15. She's like, hey, Patrick, wake up. And then so I'm like, what's going on? Because no one ever wakes me up from my nap. I always set an alarm or whatever. She's like, we're closing at like 2:15. I'm like, whoa, what? And then I have another coworker come in and say the same thing. I'm like, what's going on?
It's a dream.
Yeah, and I was like, oh God, it is a dream. And so then we leave 2 hours early. And I just end up going to the bar with Sarah. I actually went to the public library. Got a library card. They have updated that library, and it looks hella nice.
I haven't been in there in probably...
I got to show you pictures.
Wow. Whoa, man. I probably haven't been in there since I was like 12.
Really?
Used to have a library card. I doubt they have a record of it anymore.
Yeah, you have to get a new one, I believe, because I want to say their system's updated. But they have...
It's been like a decade since I've been in that library.
Really?
Yeah.
It looks... If this goes to images... Oh, wait, hold on. I have to go to photos of it, so I have to...
Right, so you get the inside.
Photos. Come on.
So I remember that place just being like old and creaky and those dated bookshelves.
And now it's like... Here's one of the photos.
Oh, dang. They cleaned that up real nice. Dang, they got like nice floors in there.
Oh, yeah. And then they got like this going on.
That's cool.
It's super nice. And they got, you can rent board games now. You can rent movies.
Games?
Yeah, they have an app now where you can rent the movies online and stream them. You can download like ebooks.
Like I knew some public libraries did that. I never expected ours to like get on that back.
Dude, they are so up to date. And I like walk in there, the lady's like listing all this stuff. I'm like, damn. And then I was telling her, she's like, yeah, when was the last time you were in the library? And then I made a joke saying I made a RPG campaign where it was based in Big Rapids, and there was like a
virtually
a whole hangar and shit underneath, and I was going into detail about it, and she was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I was like, yeah, but it was kind of inaccurate because I guess in that time period, we were in the 1980s. So
right,
it
would have been still accurate.
So I was like telling her, and I was like, she was like geeking out that someone actually did that. But it's super nice. And so
they still just have the 2 floors in there?
There's 2 floors, and there's like a bottom floor, the basement floor.
There's the basement.
Where Pert's workshop was.
Right.
Where people can rent and host things in that.
Okay, so it's like a almost like a conference room.
Yeah,
event.
And I hadn't went down to check it out because originally on Thursday, I'm trying to do more things with Sarah outside of like just chilling and that. Mm-hmm. And so there's like the Festival of Arts going on this month in Big Rapids, and there's actually the booklet right there on that table. And one of the things was they have a foreign film festival at the library. Like every week there's a movie, and one of them I wanted to go to that Thursday, but they canceled it due to weather. Dang. So I said, oh well, I'm gonna go there anyway and get a library card. So because I'd like to start reading more. Mm-hmm. So then I like checked out 2 books or whatever, but I was so impressed with how it looked. I was like, whoa, like holy shit. And I asked her when they updated, and she said like 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh wow, so it's been a while.
Yeah, so I hadn't been there in God knows how long.
Yeah,
like.
Probably about as long as I had.
Yeah, I want to say like it has to have been at least like 10 years at the minimum. Mm-hmm. Cause I remember meeting an ex-girlfriend out there, so I could drive her to where we used to live on the river.
Right,
that was like a good meeting spot. Mm-hmm. But that's about it. But yeah, it was really nice. And then so then I went to the bar with Sarah.
Right.
And then I had a new beer they have called 420. And it was all right. And then Friday we ended up getting delayed.
Okay.
So I come in at 10. And so how I usually like walk through the front, but if people are parked out in the front due to security, we got to go around in the back door. And I go around the back door. I take off my boots. I don't take off my coat or whatever because I still have like my bag on all my shit. Like, so I'm like, I'll just take it off later. So I get to my computer to punch in at my desk, my boss comes out saying if I wanted to go up to the drive-thru for a couple hours, and I was like, oh, I haven't been up there
in a while.
I guess I'll go up there. She didn't tell me that I was going to be opening and prepping everything, which I had never done before. So I'm like, okay, cool. Go in there. Alarm almost goes off. I remember the code at the last minute. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Defuse the bomb. Defuse the bomb.
And so that stops. And then I call her down. I was like, did you realize that I don't know the code to the safe up here? She's like, oh, well, Sarah should be in. Your sister should be in sometime soon. Like, she's supposed to be there before we open. And she was running late because her roads were god awful.
Right.
And so she comes in, and last time I was up there, they didn't have blinds for the windows to roll down.
Okay.
And so I like roll down the windows. I'm like, people are gonna like come up to the window and be like, hey, you know, what's going on? You open or whatever. Yep. So I throw up like the close signs or whatever, and Sarah comes in. We get everything set up, and Sarah usually has a class on Friday at like 2, so she has to like go. She's full time on Friday, so she goes to lunch at 2 on Tuesday, and I get a call from Kelly saying, yeah, I forgot that Sarah does that, so you'll just be up and drive through all day. And I was like,
all right,
cool. I could do this. So I sat at where Vicky sits at the drive-thru, which is, she's the full-time teller up there. But the reason I went up to drive-thru was Vicky's roads were awful, so she just said, I'm not coming in today. And so it's like, okay, cool. But I could see the lobby and all the cars. So they were like busy as all get out. And I'm just sitting here.
You're chilling up here.
And I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah. And there was no phone calls. And I was working with Sarah and Amy, who are like my 2 favorite people to work with because they actually do their job.
Right.
And so it was like just us, like just chit-chatting. And I was like, this is awesome. If work was like this every day. But I ended up having to like be the vault teller, and I've never been the vault teller. I've just watched people do it. So I'm like, no, Sarah's like, should you call Kelly how to do this? No, I'm just gonna fucking just wing it. Do it or whatever. So, and I nailed it, but it was like super weird because I was like not doing anything on a Friday with member wise. Oh, that was the other thing. So we were delayed because of weather, but when I got there, Wendy tells me that systems are down. And I was like, how down are the computers?
How down?
And she said, because apparently the program we use is based out in South Dakota, and they had a whole power outage thing due to the weather. Mm-hmm. So they were down since when we were supposed to be open, which was 8, but we were delayed till 10. We didn't get our system back on till afternoon. So we were doing paper receipts.
Everything manually.
Yep. And then
enter it in later.
Yeah, then we had to log it in later. And yeah, that was the longest I've had to do that for, usually because it's up quickly and they have a backup, but like the backup died on them out there, and it was like a hot mess, and they were trying to like switch everything over. So it caused like debit cards to be down, online banking to be down.
That's been like an ongoing problem all week.
Oh yeah. It's like
for like everybody.
Total shit show. And
that's why you have data centers in like different locations.
Right.
Like one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast for your redundancy.
Right. And it was such a weird day because it was like such a hot mess. Mm-hmm. And then because since I'm full-time, I have my specific drawer that's mine down in the lobby. And with part-timers, when they switch between drive-thru and lobby, they have to sell the drawer that they had wherever and buy a new one. Back. Yeah, well, they have to buy a completely different drawer at different locations, and they have to count it all and whatever. But since the system was down, I couldn't do that. So Kelly's like, "You're just gonna have to grab a random drawer and then start using it." And I was like, "Cool." So I'm doing that, and then I had to buy it later, and I had to balance it to make sure it balanced, and it did. So which means I did math well, and then. The calculator I was using to add up my checks, Vicky has it set up in like a weird way with the decimal point. So when you add checks or something, like if the amount was like $420 exact,
it leaves off the decimals.
Yeah, so it's just 420, like 4.20.
I hate that.
Yeah, and so I was off like 300, and I'm like, how the fuck am I off? Like I'm auditing myself, and I have all the checks on. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Just a decimal something.
Yeah, and so like I had Amy counted on her calculator, and she nailed it, and I was like, I'm not using this calculator. Like fucking who sets up their calculator like that? But whatever. But no, it was so chill because then afterwards. My dad texted me, he's like, because they've had one day of school the past 2 weeks.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to be at the bar with your mom. And at like 4:30 or whatever. And I was like, okay, if you're still there, I'll join
stop
you.
by.
So we went to the Raven and got like 2 beers, and it was awesome. And then I made like a Moscow Mule and I got home, and I drank like a fourth of it, and then fell asleep while watching a documentary about Sam Cooke, which I'm very upset about. 'Cause I love that man. And I fell asleep, and then I wake up, but I wake up with like this awful headache, like this really bad headache. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And
it's like 2 drinks.
Yeah, I know. And so like I go to bed and I wake up with the headache again. I'm like, really? And it was just dehydration. It wasn't like a hangover thing, which I'm really glad it wasn't. So I've been like chugging water, like nonstop. Did I pee before we did this?
I don't think so.
Because I gotta fucking pee again. Like, goddamn. But yeah, that was my story. The past 2 days.
Pretty good past 2 days.
Yeah, I know. It was very eventful.
It's been a long time since I've like gone into a bar and had a drink.
Well, dude, we got to do it soon.
We do.
It's really fun.
No, I know. Like every time we've gone, it's been fun. It's just I can't remember the last time I did it.
Right? Well, I really wish we had. I really wish we would take the fucking how the bars and breweries work in other cities I've been, where how they have it laid out is not like a restaurant. It's just like
well, yeah, but every bar here is like a restaurant hybrid.
I understand that, but I mean, you're a college town. Like fucking adapt.
Seriously, yeah, they could totally survive as just a bar.
Because, like in Marquette or in Ann Arbor or in Grand Rapids or Traverse City, places I've been, and like the breweries I've been, they're set up like a lounge.
So you're not, sitting at a booth or a table. You're just chilling.
You can just go to like a beanbag chair with
or
a table,
couch
and whip out like fucking Betrayal on a Haunted Hill, or whatever, and just play a game. That's how they're set up. It's just to chill and like
do something while you're drinking.
Just commune, And since we live in such an old town with old people,
we just have to get super rich and we'll just open our own bar.
Right? That'd be awesome. But like the Raven's kind of like that.
Yeah, the Raven is a little bit more like that. They don't have a ton of like big tables though.
No, they've remodeled a little bit, but no, I just wish they would do that, because then I would definitely go out more. And also another thing is with breweries in other towns and cities. So for example, in Marquette, there's like Black Rocks and Ordock are the 2 big breweries there, and there's a ton of restaurants there. But there's like a sense of community up there where all those restaurants
they carry that local.
Will carry the guy who owns Crankers pissed someone off apparently, and nobody
will carry it.
Yeah, carry his beer, and they have a ton of beer.
They do.
They have a ton of beer, and it's good beer. It's relatively good beer.
If you like IPAs, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, well, they have more now.
Okay,
like big time. Now their menus are they got like stout.
Oh, they have a stout.
Yeah, they have stouts, ales. I don't know. I think it goes ale stout. There's like something up top. And there's ales, stouts, IPAs, and then ciders and some wines. Yeah, and it's good. And something happened.
I get the impression he's pissed a lot of people off.
I do too, because my dad. I did a video with the guy actually, and he just kind of seems like a chode to some degree. And then my dad was talking about him and kind of gets the same vibe, but like he knows the guy,
right?
But. I think he's had to have done something, because they would get so much more business if they got, because even up there, like in Marquette, like the chain restaurants will still carry Black Rats and
and like if freaking Applebee's carried that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, or Ruby Tuesdays,
Ruby Tuesdays is it's just kind of there.
Yeah, that's true. I've only gone there like twice.
Yeah, but Applebee's is like constantly packed on evenings and weekends, and it's almost always college students.
In Schuberg's
is big too.
I didn't realize when I went to the Raven yesterday, I didn't realize how packed downtown gets on Friday night.
It gets packed.
Like Raven was filled up. Like I got there at like 5:30. It was filled up by 7, completely. And then Schuberg's, when I went a couple Fridays ago, and that was like right after work, it was just packed constantly. Like you had to stand and wait
like half an hour just to get in.
And then another thing with the breweries, like for example in Marquette, is there's the main breweries. it's just, you just go there to drink beer. You don't go there to get food or anything. So there's like whole like, just get beer, lounge within like, you know, our radius or whatever. Because they have like swings, they got like dart games, they got a fireplace. It is so nice. One day I'm going to take you to Marquette, man.
It's a date.
One day. And you're going to be like, whoa, this is cool. And the Ordoc's the same way. And then what they do is they allow you to go to other restaurants in town and bring their food there and just eat their food there.
Nice.
So you're like supporting the community and you're just chilling.
This is more of like a United States wide issue, but I wish there weren't such strict open intox rules.
Oh,
So you could just go to the bar, order a beer, walk down the street, visit like local stores or restaurants.
right.
But in the States, the moment you take an open beer onto like a sidewalk, you can be fined and spend the night in jail for
Yep.
having an open, container of alcohol.
And-
Stupidest thing.
And that sucks because I think Black Rocks and Ordoc and Marquette, they kind of push that because they have a lot of stuff going on the sidewalks.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can sit on the curb and like drink a beer. I mean, you can't like go and meander or what
Right.
have you, but no,
Right, if you're like on like the front area of like that business, then
Right.
you're fine. But yeah, you can't just like walk around and
they do that in Europe though. Like,
everywhere else it's like normal.
I don't know what's up our butt about most things.
We're just like we're just like a hugely like conservative country as far as that and sex and
Gayness and race and
yup.
oh, I watched this movie. I watched a movie.
Really?
I did. So I watched a movie. When was it? Thursday. Because I remember being up till like 1. And I'm like, oh God, this is going to suck in the morning. But then we got delayed and I was like, nap
Yes.
time. It was Burning Mississippi or Mississippi Burning. One of those two ways.
Okay.
It's starring a very young William Dafoe and Gene Hackman or whatever. But it's about these 3 activists who go to Mississippi so blacks can have the right to vote.
Mm-hmm.
They get that established. But then they end up missing. And you find out what happens in like the first 5 minutes. But like the whole thing is the 2 FBI agents, William Dafoe and Gene Hackman, come into the town to figure out. And then there's this whole like, there's like the KKK and all this stuff. And it's a really good movie. But it's like that one of those movies that's really well done and so well like portrayed by like those events in that time period of the 60s that it makes you extremely anxious and extremely mad because Sarah wanted to cuddle during it and then I'm like seeing racism on the screen. I'm like, yeah, you gotta like
I am focused on this right now.
I am feeling very anxious right now, and she stayed awake through the whole thing because it just like
It's impressive.
yeah, because she just was impacted by it. And so it was a really good movie. And William Dafoe was like, he's a hot dude.
Yeah, it was like the pic when he was like really young. He's
a hot dude. And it was a really good movie, and it was very disturbing. So I highly recommend watching it. The reason I brought that up is because lately I've been seeing a lot of things about race. Like just come into my view, and that what was the other thing that it was? I don't remember. But the documentary about Sam Cooke, because I didn't realize he died when he was like 33. He was shot in a motel. And I don't know why, because I fell asleep during the documentary, but he was a really prolific voice for equal rights.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was buddies with like Muhammad Ali, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and all that. And I always thought he was like an older guy, but no, he's like this super young dude with like this super soulful voice and everything. It's like, oh man. But yeah, I just was very sad, and I fell asleep.
And the worst part about like watching those things and getting angry about them is like some of them happened like 30 or 40 years ago,
right?
Within our parents' lifetime.
I know that was
most of it.
Yeah, because this happened in like 64, 68. You know, like shortly before or just after my parents were born. And then I was thinking that
2 years after mine.
Yeah, my grandparents were our age.
Or older.
Yeah, or like 30-some when that happened. Like they were living through that. And I was like, whoa. That's nuts.
Especially when you like learn about that stuff in school, and it's in history class. So you just automatically think old. They say this, the 70s, you're like, man, that was a long time ago.
Right?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, I remember another thing because I also watched a documentary that I stayed awake for earlier this week. So I don't know if I just heard about this. I don't know if you recall. It's the Fire Festival.
I've heard a few people talk about it, but I have no idea what it is.
Okay, you're going to find this very funny because if you ever get a chance to watch this, if you want a good laugh, I would watch this documentary.
Okay.
Okay, so what it is I think the main guy's name is Billy something. Anyway, he looks like a total chode. Okay, just like total like, hey, what's up, man? He is this like entrepreneur who made this like credit card app called it was like Venus or something or whatever, but it was this like elite, like millennial elite credit card that had all these bonuses, and if you were a member in like New York City where he's based out of, you would get access to like these legit clubs and all this like cool stuff, whatever.
VIP goodness.
Yeah, so his next big thing was the Fire Festival. So he somehow managed to get buy Pablo Escobar's island.
Okay.
And he brought all these big time models and like this film crew and that to do a promo for what the Fire Festival was going to be. It was going to be this new inclusive like one-time thing fire festival where all these amazing artists would come on this island. You would come buy your tickets like on like beach bungalows and all this stuff for this music festival. So he does promotional shoot. The shoot gets instantly famous and it blows up or whatever. And what happens is they just don't like logistically like having like a festival on that island cannot be done with like the infrastructure they had because they needed like porta potties, places to stay, flying all this shit.
And you have to like get this all like you have to like load up an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, and so they moved it to a different island and they like photoshopped that part that they had the festival out of the island so it looked like it was still as an island, and it was like there's like a lot of like scummy shit going on or whatever. And what happened is the people are telling Billy and this other like this rapper guy in charge who's just a dunce and a half like you're gonna have to do this stuff. If you don't, you're gonna have to tell people this is what the festival actually is, and you're gonna have to cut back, cancel tickets to actually like have people be and he's like no we're gonna make it whatever. And so like the day comes down to the festival and they have all these millennials flying in, and that didn't click with me until halfway through the documentary that
this had to have happened very recently.
It happened in 2017, and I didn't hear about
I didn't hear about it either.
I think it's because we don't go on social media.
It could be
but what clicked with me like was all the people who bought tickets and all of these festival attendees that are being interviewed for the documentary are elite, quote unquote, 1% millennials.
Oh, okay.
So they're filthy rich. Mm-hmm. They're living in penthouses and wherever, and they go to this festival. They fly into this festival. They end up having to stay in tents, which are actually like kind of nice tents, even though like the tents were made out of like hurricane shelter kind of tents things. But it was like a nice location, being able to afford to fly there and stay there or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And the whole time, these attendees in that, they post on social media, they're talking, about their view. They're bitching about like what everyone else would have to deal with. Like the first
time they've ever gone to a music festival, or
it's the first time they're exposed to not everything they want, and they're bitching about this constantly. And I thought about that. I was like, oh my god, this is why people hate our generation, because of this. Because they're showing what all these people do, and they're all like famous from Instagram. They're all famous just because like mommy and daddy were rich. They're all because of this. So like all they're doing is like they're like mobbing each other within like day one, like destroying things. But while they're mobbing each other, they're also vlogging it, like them punching guys, like taking things. I'm like, oh my!
It's like the dumbass cliche millennial like image.
Well, it was funny because then right after I had that realization, they started going into people who couldn't attend the festival, like normal people.
Them.
Yeah. And they were posting like things on festival like, this is Darwinism at its finest and stuff like that. And it was just so funny because the documentary not only like showed how like big of a fraud this Billy guy was, because he ends up being convicted, but then while he's out on bail, he ends up trying to
flee the country or something.
No, do another scam because he's smart. He's a smart guy. But then it was showing like millennials and how it's just like, wow, this is like.
You know why we probably didn't hear anything about it? I bet Fox News had a field day with this, and this was like their fodder for, millennials are stupid. And since we're not frequent viewers, we probably didn't
see anything. Yeah, and I just was like, how did I not hear about this?
If anybody was like complaining about millennials, and that's what you think millennials are, they're not.
Yeah, no, it's not, and it's sad because social media is such a big thing with everyone now. That's all they see is
the people on social media.
Yeah, and it's just
screaming the loudest.
Yeah, because when I was out at the bar with my parents yesterday, they had a lot of their older friends out there who were dropping millennials shit and all that.
Right.
And I was like, of course, being the target of it. And
yeah, that's always fun because it's never used in like, you just happen to be,
a part of it.
It's always used as a derogatory term.
Yeah,
but it just goes to the whole back generalizations in general. You just don't use them.
I know, and maybe that's what it was. It wasn't so much. I was seeing a lot of racism. It was a lot of people assuming things based off generalization,
which could be race or anything else.
Yeah, or age, and it's so funny. God, it's just funny that people like do that like about millennials or whatever, and let's say they're not racist, but they're doing the same thing. That what racism is you're discriminating
against some certain group because of some characteristic.
Yeah, it's just like, wow, God, everyone sucks. Everyone sucks. But it's interesting. It was an interesting video documentary to watch. I would recommend watching that, and then Mississippi Burning, whatever, Mississippi Burning or Burning Mississippi Burning. I don't know. It's on Hulu.
Okay.
And then Hulu has their own Fire Festival documentary. And then Netflix had their own, which is the one I watched. Because I heard that one was better. But then I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and one person liked the Hulu one better. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't really want to watch a thing about it twice.
That would... Yeah. It's still... One's probably plenty.
It's still kind of fascinating, but... No, because I remember hearing about it like a couple weeks ago, the Fire Festival. Because Sarah... It was mentioned... Maybe it was at Mari's wedding. And then I think it was because my cousins who are like very like liberal and up to date on everything, because I absolutely adore them, and they mentioned it or something, and then Sarah commented about it. Oh, isn't that festival where they got all those like dumb celebrities or whatever onto the island? I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, it just ends up being a bunch of dumb kids on the island.
That's funny.
It was very funny. What's the time on that?
We're about 53 minutes.
Oh, wow. That went by really fast.
Yeah. You had lots to talk about today.
Wow. I feel like I talked a lot.
You did.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I didn't really have much. I never plan ahead for these things, so.
Cool. Oh, your sister listens to our podcast.
Really?
Yeah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
I talked about you. I did say you're awesome, so, But yeah, thank you guys for watching the side table. I had another thing I wanted to talk about. I forgot what it was. I think it was like body issues. We can talk about that when we play Pokemon, though.
Okay.
All right.
We just need to have like a side table to our side table.
I know. Here's our other podcast.
Yes.
It's called the Coaster.
I love it. They'll just be quick, like 10-minute bites, though.
Which will end up not turning to 10-minute bites.
No, they'll be 40 minutes.
20 minutes. Yeah. And then it will be 30. Then it'll be 40 minutes.
And then it'll just be another
then it'll be its own
table episode.
YouTube channel.
We'll have 7 YouTube channels.
I don't see why people do multiple YouTube channels.
I think the only way you can get away with multiple YouTube channels is if you're doing like drastically different things on each one.
That's true. But that's why, I mean, look, when you say drastic, like one's doing beauty and then the other one's about cars.
Yeah, like if we're doing like gaming on one channel, and then you start like uploading like car stuff or makeup stuff to it, it's probably not going to hit the same demographic of people. Then your like subscribers aren't going to like watch all your videos.
I guess
you don't have the same retention.
Right.
They're going to be like, it's just one of those.
I like
kind of stop watching.
Right. Well, I always just see that as like entertainment still, so it's like under one entertainment channel.
It is, but I feel like people subscribe for very specific things.
That's true. Because I would like to. I don't know. That's because I always thought of like Pillow Talk as a brand.
So as your umbrella company.
Yeah. So then you see, like all the subsidies under that, which should there's like the podcast. There's like Spicy Time, which I have to revive without spice. It's still on the back burner. But yeah. Because I always just thought of it as like a company versus an
actual channel.
Yeah. But I guess whatever. Anyway, thanks you. Oh, I'm gonna burp. Nothing good. Thank you guys for watching the side table and listening. You can watch it on YouTube.
Listen on iTunes.
Check out Pillow Talk. Also on YouTube. And then
one day we'll make the website.
Check out my Twitch channel. I stream like once a week.
Are you still streaming from your personal one?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I made it a personal one because
it's just you.
Yeah, it's just me.
That's smart. That's smart.
So then it's PK420. And my logo.
Is it really?
Yeah, because I couldn't do like 69 or whatever. And I was like, fine, 420. Oh, it works. Cool.
But 69's not allowed?
Yeah, no, it's not. And then it was taken already or something.
It's probably taken.
But my logo is that stone cat I drew for a poem about weed I did.
Yep.
And no, it's pretty legit. It's just me chilling. Usually I get like 3 viewers. So
I've just got to like set up notifications for when you do that. Because I always get on Twitter and then I'm like, oh, Patrick was streaming yesterday. I was home.
They're actually not to toot my own horn, but like I have gotten a lot of compliments about the audio. How it's
our audio's
so good. I know, and he's like, your audio is like, because it was Big Boy P or whatever, and he's like, dude, your audio is on point, and I'm like, thank you.
I feel like the like hallmarks of a good produced video, kind of the world's shittiest camera, good audio, it's good perfect lighting,
right? Yep. And now I finally figured it out with the turning face cam on and then turning it off.
So you can do like a live switch.
Yep. And what did I stream last week? Oh, I was doing a leaf green random lock. And guess who my starter is still, because he's still alive.
Bulbasaur?
Mewtwo.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm like killing things. But the one downside is I can't catch anything. Because Mewtwo is too powerful.
Yeah, just one shot it.
I did end up acquiring, I think, 2 other mons. I don't remember what they were, but
they don't matter.
No, I have fucking Mewtwo as a starter, which is badass.
Till you get hit by like a really fast ghost type.
No, it won't happen. It's random.
You know that's how random lock works.
Nope. You know what you're talking about.
Elgato makes a really sweet thing called a Stream Deck. Basically, it's a number pad, like a detachable number pad with customizable buttons.
I've been hearing about this.
That thing, it's kind of expensive for what it is. You could probably just get like a $10 numpad and then do some auto hotkeying for the same functionality. But yeah, you can like automatically do like one click for like face cam.
No face cam.
Yeah, no face cam, or like if you want like graphics or lower thirds. And you can just be like a one-click stop.
That'd be super cool. Or like, what I really want is a peen break.
One click, have a big screen that's like, we'll be back
shortly, and then mute my mic and be like, thank God, now I can pee.
Right, one click, mute mic, throw up the screen.
Yeah.
That's pretty easy to handle.
And it's really fun because there's always someone like in the chat that I've had. Usually it's like Big P, but I've gotten a lot of followers from playing Zelda, which is like
mixed bag, because you don't really like playing it that much.
I know, but I want to at the same time, you know? It's an interesting thing, Zelda and I.
You want to like it?
But, yeah. Thank you guys for watching.
And listening, because you don't watch this.
Unless you watch it on YouTube.
They're not going to like watch the picture of the side table the whole time. They're going to put that tab in the background. They're going to go do something else on the internet.
Oh, no, the video when I uploaded it is a fireplace.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah, so they could watch it. I feel like watching fire, so... Sick. Alright, bye. Turn off now. I gotta pee so bad.